What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass. Like and subscribe. So, listen. What's this game called? Something Soul Aside, Sale Soul Aside, something Soul Aside, something. Anyway, it's a PlayStation published game that is day and date on PC. I wrote a song like 5 years ago, and it says, one of the lines says, "Don't forget about the day and date on PC." I should sample that. Day and date on PC. It was an inevitability because they saw what Microsoft did 10 years before. They see that it's just money on the table. Yoshida said, it's like printing money. And so the fallout for this is the first game. PlayStation published the game. Is it first party? Technically, based off of the definitions of the industry, yes. It is not a Sony studio that made the game, but Sony paid for the game, and so it is. I mean, Nintendo does that all the time. They contract out to studios to make their IPs, and whatever. I don't know if they own the IP, Sony, but still, they paid for it, so it's their game. It is not on the Xbox. Actually, it is on the Xbox because it's on the ROG Xbox Ally and Ally X. Why is it on there? Because it's on PC. How is it on there? How? If it's on PC, how is it on the Xbox? The ROG, the Xbox Ally, we'll just call it for short. The XA. Zah. How is it on the XA? You know why. And so the real main meat and potatoes of what I wanted to talk about is the reaction from donkey unicorns and ponies. I would say donkey unicorns more so. Ponies at least have a little bit of common sense. They're still hurt on the inside. They just hide it better than some. J-Tech TV. I knew he was a donkey unicorn when he said what he said when he found out that The Last of Us Factions was canceled. I need to clip that and put that in the song too, because that's hilarious. I can make a whole song off of that. I can make a whole song off of all the crazy noises he makes. But shout out to it's Alex. Shout out to Alex because he went through the break, the the falling down, if you will, of J-Tech TV. He was, I guess he was streaming, and they clipped it out or whatever, and J-Tech has lost his mind. I would say he is a couple steps removed from Tim Dog, except Tim Dog's a special individual, but J-Tech, yeah, he shouldn't have done that. He shouldn't have said all those words, hard R's. Nah, he didn't do hard R. He did A, but there was a bunch of N words, a bunch of F bombs, a bunch of effing N bombs. No, he didn't say that. I don't want to misrepresent him, but if you go watch Alex's video, it's all there. It's all uncensored. I'm surprised they didn't destroy his channel from all the bad words that J-Tech said. But this is an example of the Donkey Unicorn Nation, their reaction. And this isn't just an isolated incident. This is how many of the Donkey Unicorns feel. And it's about day and date. It's about not having exclusivity for their goofy box. But it's not actually a box. It's like a whatever it is. I don't even know. It's a leaf shape. And so he was going on and on and on. And he said, this is going to be a test. There's a test coming up. Y'all failed the other test. I forgot what the other test was. Doesn't matter. But this is a test. And the test is if you buy the game. If you buy the game, then that tells Sony that you want day and date on PC. And I'm like, Y'all are so dumb. Because what these donkey unicorns and ponies want is basically the destruction and the elimination of PlayStation. Because without adjusting their business model in order to acquire more money for more people, aka day and date on PC, they're gonna lose. Now he said they're walking W's of, I forgot what he said. I was like, huh? You are extrapolating victory based off of a fake number, a falsified number. I mean, it's not fake in the context of what they present it as, but they're replacing it with, I'm talking about the sold in versus sold through. And the sold in is higher because it's just basically manufactured consoles. They said 77 whatever, right? 77 million. But actually the last number that they had put out, which was last year, the last number that was reported or that was known is 50 million last year. So how can they have 27 million in a year? They can't. That's the, or I think it might have been a little bit more than a year. Point is, they can't. That's not how it works. So their fake numbers are just that, fake, and they are not helping the bottom line, because if those numbers were real and everybody was buying games on those 77 million plus consoles, then they wouldn't have to go day and date. You see how that works? If they were making all this money, blah blah blah, they wouldn't have to go day and date. Now people are gonna say, oh, but they're a corporation, they want to make more money all the time, so they're gonna go day and date so they can make the most money, blah blah blah. I mean, yeah, but they're behind this generation. I've heard it from many different content creators, individuals in the community, that Sony has messed up this generation. They totally fumbled the ball. They started off cool, and then this live service push, everybody's hating the live service push. Porter Rock, everybody else and their mama, live service, it's a disaster, blah blah blah. I mean, that's all true. And who can be accountable for these things, right? Like, what can we chalk this up to? Is it mismanagement? Is it lack of vision, lack of foresight? Is it lack of skill? I mean, we can say all of those. We can say none of those. No one knows. But the fact is that they put out a game, Concord. Never forget, worst game ever created, worst failure of a game ever created in the history of video games. Thank you, Sony. Concord, the worst game ever put out. They spent all this money on it. I'm looking at this game, right? And I'm like, I'm sure the game is okay to play. It's not a horrible game. It's not broken like that, right? But the point is that they couldn't see that the game was bad. It's like, I think, this is a bad example, or it's a timely example, I guess. But 50 Cent once said about Diddy that he has lost the ear for hearing hits. He can't hear it anymore. And he used the example of, I forgot what Drake song it was, but whoever made the beat, I forgot who made the beat, gave it to Diddy first, and Diddy said nah. Then Drake took it, made it a hit, and then Diddy was mad. And that's where 50 got that kind of theory, or that presumption that he can't hear the hits anymore. And Sony can't see the hits. They can't create the hits anymore because they're stuck on this cinematic mode that they've created for themselves. And they have people like Neil Druckmann making these games that aren't fun to play. They're not fun. They may be good mechanically. They may be, oh, look at the technical specs or the technical achievements of this game. I'm not going to deny that. But is it fun to play murder person in Zombieland? No. Mushroom Zombieland? No, it's not. It's not fun to do that. And I've always said that from the beginning. Sure, it's cool because it's cinematic and all that stuff, and sometimes you need horror games, and sometimes you need like stuff like that. By the way, tangent. Saw Sinners yesterday. I know I'm late, but I was like, I need to see this, and I didn't see it in IMAX, so I'm kind of mad. But you know, it's not. I don't think it's in IMAX anymore. But I saw it. That's a good one. That's a good movie. It's really good. Anyway, yes, there needs to be horror games. There needs to be games like that. You know, games that are hard as far as emotionally and all the stuff. But that's all they do for the most part. You're looking at what, well, Uncharted was a little bit less than that, but it was still, yeah. And it's like, they do Astrobot, but then it's like, nobody cared. And now this new one, Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet, it's still not a good, I don't think that's a good title. That's gonna be the same. Is it gonna be about revenge? Why isn't she with her crew no more? Are they all trying to kill her, or is she trying to go and kill them all? Or did somebody double cross somebody? So, you know, this is what Neil Druckmann makes. So that's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be revenge. It's gonna be, I'm gonna get you back. I'm gonna kill you in your face. It's gonna be all that. It ain't gonna be, you know. It's not just like Sinners. Like Sinners. If Sinners was a game, Sinners would be a really good game. Kinda, sorta. I don't know how they would do it, but like Smoke and Stack, those are good. Like Ryan Coogler, I know this is a tangent. It's not about, this is a movie, but he did his Thug Dizzle in creating this world, and this is, I believe they were in Mississippi, and it's like, oh, it's you got these two twins, they got a past. You got other stuff, and it's just so crazy. I'm sorry, I'm stumbling, rambling because I don't want to spoil anything. It's a really good movie. You'll just go watch it. Like how it ends, I was like, okay, and it's kind of cool. It's a very cool movie. But anyway, so I don't think this is what they need. PlayStation needs some new creatives. They need new people making games, because if your alpha dog, if your top dude is Neil Druckmann, and you could just tell by the response of The Last of Us Part 2 and The Last of Us Season 2, which are the same thing. Well, Season 3 and Season 2 and 3 will be Part 2 of the game. Everybody jumped off. Everybody said, this is stupid, I don't like this game no more, when they killed Joel. Spoilers. The same thing happened in the show. That should tell you that wasn't good. And the fact that it's just like I said, I always knew Joel had to die. It's just about how you did it and when you did it. Joel should have died at the end of that game. And they could have done a Last of Us 3, how Ellie does her revenge quest against Abby. They could have squeezed out 3 games. But no, they put it all in one game. Blah, 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 blah. I don't know if that was wise. I wouldn't have done that. But I'm not Naughty Dog CEO guy. He had his vision, and his vision was flawed, because you don't take the dude, the foundation of your franchise, of your title, of your game, and destroy it. And now you have Ellie, who is like wishy-washy, and then you have Abby. Nobody likes her. They should like her. They should like her because they should be empathetic about, oh, my dad was killed. You know what they should have done? This is what they should have done. They should have separated the Abby and the Ellie storyline, right? And had Abby on a second game, like maybe part 3, and they could have obfuscated the fact that it was still the same kind of story and said, oh, it's a different story in a different location, blah, 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 whatever, right? I forget what it is, Jackson or something. And they started there. It's like, oh, it's a new character, blah, blah, blah. But then they realized, oh, snap. This girl is the daughter of the doctor that Joel killed in the first game. Oh, snap. That would have been dope. But no. They want to just have anger and revenge and whatever. Nobody... And there's no redemption. And that's the problem with that game, is that there is no redemption. There's no redemption for Ellie. Just because she didn't kill Abby at the end, spoilers, doesn't mean she's not redeemed, because nobody likes you. Nobody likes you. Nobody likes Abby. Now Abby ain't got no muscles no more. She's all crackheaded out. Nobody really don't like her no. I'm like, yo, y'all messed up all the characters and nobody cares. Anyway, I'm sorry, rambling. This is what happened when you have trash. And now the Heritage Prophet, I don't know. I mean, there's still hope for that game, but I don't have that much faith in Neil Druckmann's ability to make something that people want to watch and or play. I don't, because he's too far up his own anus that he's just like, I am creative, I'm an artiste, and this is what I'm trying to do about the revenge, about the human condition, and nobody cares. Is it fun? Are the characters likable? The reason why Uncharted was good, because Nathan Drake was a likable character. And flawed and all that stuff. But he was likable. More so than any character in Last of Us, except Joel was semi-likable until, he did what he did. Then he was like, oh, he's the villain. Never mind. Anyway, I'm sorry. Let's get back to the actual factual, which is the just demise of PlayStation. Now, it is the fans that are starting to realize. The Donkey Unicorns and the Ponies are starting to realize the actual reality of PlayStation, the state that they're in, and the fact that they are doing exactly what Microsoft did 10, 15 years ago, except they're 10, 15 years too late, and they don't have enough money to get the catalog and the studios and the publishing power that Microsoft has built over the last 10 years or so. And how Microsoft has played this whole thing, and it's the long game. It's always been a long game for Microsoft. And Sony they don't work that way. And the fact that they don't work that way is apparent, and you're seeing it live right in front of your eyes, and you're saying, oh, they have no long game. They're just trying to catch up. They're just trying to copy what's being successful. So they see games like Call of Duty, they see games like Fortnite, they see games like Mario, and they try to copy. They see all these games, service games, and they try to copy. Only problem is, A, they don't have the skill. Well, I'm not gonna say they don't have the skill. They probably have the skill, but they don't have the experience. B, they don't have the patience or the money or the kind of foresight to keep investing in this game. Fortnite was a disaster when it launched. Then they did Battle Royale. Then they kept going. Then they got the Avengers is coming out. Let's put Iron Man in there. Let's put the Hulk. Let's put Batman in there. Let's put Darth Vader, Star Wars. They put money into the game, into those licenses to get it in the game. Everybody's like, yo, I can play Darth Vader in Fortnite. Let's go. And everybody started playing it. And most important part, Fortnite's free. One of the major flaws of PlayStation's games as service strategy was to charge for free-to-play games. How are they so dumb? You look at Fortnite, you're like, yeah, we want to make our own Fortnite. It's like, okay, Fortnite's free, right? But ours is premium. We have cinematics. I was like, nobody care. Nobody care about your cinematics. If it ain't free, it ain't for me. And that's what everybody said, and nobody played it. It's amazing. It's amazing that me, a dummy, sitting here, being a dumbass, all day, every day, can see that you charging for a free-to-play type of games of service, that ain't gonna work. And they got away with it with Helldivers 2. but that was a pretty good game. So it was like, oh, it's a good game. I'll pay $40 for it. Yeah, cool. And it's a co-op game. It's very amazing to me that a giant billion-dollar corporation like Sony, like PlayStation, is having trouble making a specific genre of game. With all the money they have and all of the talent that they have, they cannot make a game. And this is, I've said this for years, that they are creatively bankrupt. And the Jim Ryan era of PlayStation has proven that. And it's bleeding into Hiroki Totoki, still proving that, because, well, for him, he doesn't care about being creative. He just wants to make money. That's it. And that's probably why they're trying to charge for a games of service game, because they don't understand the market. Once again, lack of experience. And I would say the unwillingness to invest in that. You know, if they would have made a new Twisted Metal game, online, multiplayer, get skins, get different characters, kind of make it Battle Royale, like PlayStation Battle Royale, except with cars, you know? Not cars to license, but you know, vehicles. That could have been something. You know, but they have to have a team dedicated to making that content, and that's not a small team, it's a big team, because the content needs to have a certain cadence. If you want to copy Fortnite, you got to have like 2,000 people working on that thing to pump out, you know, content every 3-4 months. That's just the reality of it. And you split that team into 3 or 4 groups, and then you rotate that stuff through, and that's what you have to do. But they're not willing to do that. They're not willing to make that investment in order to make that money, to make a giant property like Fortnite or like Minecraft, although Minecraft isn't that's the same. Speaking of studios and devs, I think this happened yesterday that they laid off 40% of what is that studio called? The Days Gone studio? Whatever they're called. They laid oh, sorry, wow, so boring. PlayStation news. Yeah, they laid off 40%, which is 30%, which is 40 people, I think, or I don't know. I might have the numbers mixed up. But the point is that, and then they just made a new studio, or said they're working on another game or something. I don't know. It seems like chaos is happening over there. It's like, oh, we got 40 people. Oh yeah, we're making a new game. Like, what happened? You could take those 40 people and maybe they sucked their job. I don't know. Maybe they were all bathroom janitors. I don't know. But I don't know. You know, they don't tell us enough. You know, maybe they should do a list. These were the people who were fired, and this is what they did or didn't do. I mean, this is how they sucked at their job or whatever. I mean, I don't know. You know, you don't fire the people who are good unless they're being paid too much, and then you do that in order to save on the books. But that's a whole nother slimy tactic that Sony does. I would say business in general, but Sony has been trying to do well. I don't know if they're gonna get away with it with Bungie. Maybe they will, but who knows? But yeah, sorry, I'm rambling. But anyway, yeah, PlayStation's falling apart. There's like everywhere you look at PlayStation, no good news. Nothing. No games. This ROG Xbox Ally X got PlayStation games on Xbox now, and Xbox didn't even have to, you know. And the funny thing is, you know, 69D chess, I tell you that, and then, you know, PlayStation, they're playing tic-tac-toe with crayons, and I mean finger paint at this point, and it's like Xbox has found this is why their strategy is like, I'm looking at them like, yo, they're murking all of these fools. It's like, all right, okay, fine. You don't want to put the PlayStation games on Xbox? That's fine. We're just gonna make Xbox be able to play the games that are out there already. So what they have essentially done, Xbox, is they have forced Sony's hand. So now Sony has a choice. Sony can, with their PlayStation, in their PlayStation games, they can say, we need to make this money. We need to put these games on Steam day and date. And so if it's day and date on Steam, then it's day and date on Xbox. I lie. X. Right? Right. So they freaking, their strategy is like crazy. It's like, all right, so we're putting the games on PlayStation, but you don't want to super. Okay, fine, that's fine. And how they do it, they're like, oh, we have a different publisher, so it doesn't count. I was like, huh? You made the game. Switching publishers makes it not count now. Whatever, it doesn't matter. And so Xbox found a way to get PlayStation games on an Xbox legally. Without Sony can't do anything. The only thing they can do is not put their games on Steam, which hurts their bottom line. So whatever they do, Xbox wins. Man, that's so crazy. But anyway, I appreciate you showing up. Like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments below. Never know what you think about these ponies and donkey unicorns crashing out hard over PlayStation games day and date on Xbox. You love it, don't you? Tastes so good. Anyway, I appreciate. I'll talk to you on the next one too.